Hi folks, welcome to The Modern Spiritualist. My name is Raheem. Today I'm going to do a yearly reading for the entire collective. So this is for all signs. Just pulled one or two cards for each month to kind of look at the collective themes that we'll kind of all be dealing with. And yeah, it looks like a really big year. It looks like a semi-challenging year, although I don't think that we are, not up for a challenge at this point after 2020. 2021 looks a lot better. It looks like there's a lot of potential for change, transformation, movement. There's a few months that look particularly celebratory, and that there will be a lot of time to build. The first half of the year looks like there's still going to be a lot of internal work. All of 2020 was internal work, so I don't think it's much different there in that sense. But there's a lot of potential for change here and for enlightenment if these energies are used properly. So for those that really live in process and live well, I think this is a really key year. So I pulled a couple oracle cards first. These are going to be the major themes for the entire year. And so what this year is trying to get us to do ultimately is to speak truth and to surrender to that truth. And so the important thing to understand about the surrender card is it's about surrendering to you, first and foremost, surrendering to yourself, to your process, to who you are, to who you truly are, to your true authenticity, and to then embody it. The speak truth is about embodiment. And of course, that can be about communicating and vocalizing from that truth, but it's also just about how you carry yourself, who you are vibrationally. And so this is about surrendering to who you truly are. I think with a lot of the, Aquarian energies that are going on in the stars right now after that big conjunction recently, I think this makes sense to me in terms of this being thematically kind of an Aquarian year. Surrender to your individuality, surrender to your heart and speak truth from that place and see what shifts. This is about being true to you and your own natural integrity and the love that you carry, okay? So really important, because if you stop repressing yourself in the name of society or in the name of safety, then things really start to shift because you're doing what you're meant to do instead of what you're being prevented from doing. And so this is ultimately about empowerment and not letting other things or forces influence who you truly are inside. So it's about breaking away from that ego, right? Surrendering your ego to who you truly are, okay? So if you keep that in your sights, you'll be able to use this energy this year in the best way possible. So let's look at January. I know it's already the 6th today. So starting out, we have the Queen of Pentacles, which makes sense because this is the Capricorn month and this is Capricorn energy. This is about discovering your value, both inner and outer value. Like, what do you value? What makes you valuable? And then how do you pursue that value in the world? And then how do you give your unique value to the world? That's a really big, Capricorn theme, because Capricorn, rules bringing the ethereal into physical manifestation at its best. And so this is about, again, speak your truth, tapping into those gifts that you have that may or may not be, manifesting in your life in certain ways, really reconnecting with what that means for you, and then figuring out what you want to do with it, right? And it's paired with the 7 of Cups, which is about dreaming, the dreaming. It's in the reverse. And so one of the Capricorn themes that people tend to struggle with is balancing what's in your heart, what you truly want, with what feels like it has practical value. Capricorn is very concerned with building things in the physical material world. Capricorn is very concerned with providing for themselves and for others. Capricorn is very practical, right? And so the challenge here is not to short yourself. Like, don't I mean, if you're looking at what you want and some of them feel far-reaching, ask yourself why. Does it feel far-reaching because it's not really what you want? Because it's whatever that dream is actually covering up a deeper sense of wanting? I mean, I know that some of us can sometimes hold this really big dream, and then we take comfort in the fact that it can't be achieved, if that makes sense, because then it gives us an excuse to not do the work. And Capricorn's all about doing the work. So the challenge here is figuring out what you really do want. Because with the Seven of Cups, especially in the reverse, there can be some analysis paralysis. Like, you know, you want 7 different things or more or less, give or take, you know. And trying to figure out how you can make them all possible. And so what I would recommend is, with Capricorn, it's always you're climbing the mountain one step at a time. So just take things one step at a time. Find the big dream. Find the thing that you really feel like you can't live without doing. And it's not even about the achieving, it's about the doing, right? Find the thing that you can't live without doing. And then just start taking steps, just little by little. You don't have to do it all right now. If you're doing it to achieve some sort of outer prestige or validation, you're not doing it for the right reasons and you're going to get frustrated, you know? So, because you'll get impatient. So this is about cultivating patience, but this is about not compromising what you truly want in the name of practicality. Everything is possible if you do the work, okay? And that's what these cards are saying. February, great month. Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. This is a turn of fortune. Because this is in the collective, I do get kind of a hit on, you know, especially in North America, especially the US, you know, power changing hands. I see that. I see a lift off of a lot of dense energy. I could even see maybe vaccines coming out this month, and life starting to move forward, which I'm getting a pretty heavy hit on that. So guys, I think, you know, I think this year things are going to shift. We're going to start being able to do things again. And so the only caveat I want to say with this energy is make sure that you're following the guidelines, you know, the safety guidelines, the things that the scientists and the doctors are telling you to do. Keep doing them. Do them for as long as they tell you to. Get the vaccine as soon as it's available. You know, do your due diligence so that you are moving on safely, okay? March, King of Cups. Again, what do you want? With this Wheel of Fortune energy and with the Seven of Cups energy here, because you are spending January trying to suss out what you want and how you're going to move forward. The Wheel of Fortune is maybe, you know, if you spend January energy well and you do get clear on what you want, the Wheel of Fortune is also saying things are going to align so that you can pursue it. So some things may be coming in, there may be changes of direction, there may be forward progress towards your goals. As you're coming into March, this is another checkpoint, a great checkpoint. This is saying, again, do you know what you want? Is this how you want to continue? And I think for most of you, the answer is yes. I think the checkpoint is just going to be to make sure so that you don't keep going further down this Wheel of Fortune path and things happening for you to then realize down the road, oh, wait, this isn't the thing, right? But I also don't think that's going to be an issue. I just, you know, I always appreciate the universe's willingness to test you to make sure. You know, and so there just may be a bit of a testing here to make sure that this is what you want. I don't think it's going to be painful. This coming up in the upright is just going to be, you know, some sort of sign this month that you're on the right track. And then it's a good time to check in with yourself and ask yourself how you feel about the path that you're going down. And it looks like you're going to feel really good. It's paired with the Justice card, and it's in the reverse. Things may just feel a little out of balance this month. And I think it's just because things are changing on the collective level, which means things are also changing on the individual level. Wheel of Fortune's kind of a long energy, so just because this is only showing up in February doesn't mean that it's not a theme throughout the year because it's major arcana, okay? So this Wheel of Fortune is going to be turning throughout the year. I mean, of course, it's always turning. But it's going to be turning in your favor. This is going to be a lucky year for some of you. So with this Justice reversed, it's just, you're going to have to bring balance to your life in a new way because things are changing, because you may be going after different goals, and then those goals are meeting you halfway, you know, starting in February. And so this is a call to rebalance your life. You're going to have to rely on this King of Cups energy. You're going to have to tap into your feelings, because if you're trying to do the logical thing without checking in with what feels good, it's going to be false balance. It's going to be a false sense of balance, but it's still going to be on shaky ground. So the way to actually get balance is to make sure that you're listening to your heart and your head, and go with what feels good to you. I think you'll be able to feel out how to bring balance back. It just may mean that you could make some different lifestyle decisions, although, these aren't pentacle energies, but you could still be making some different lifestyle decisions, or just kind of being more fluid or responsive to how you go about your day. Just allow things to be kind of fluid and flexible. If it doesn't feel like anything's settled yet, that's okay. Just remember that, balance exists in imbalance. You can't have balance without imbalance. Balance is not a static thing. It's this constant kind of reframing. And so if you can treat balance like it is more of a flow, and if you get off the flow, you kind of find it again, and that's just how things grow and change, then you can commit yourself to bringing balance to your life without kind of fretting over the fact that it doesn't feel super balanced right now, because you'll be coming back into it, if that makes sense. So do what feels good this month. I think that's the most important thing. April, the Death card. It's kind of nice for spring, because death also represents rebirth, and you see it in this card here. There's like flowers behind the death figure. There's like a field. There's a horse. It's new growth. I'm really getting a concentration on the new growth, and so I think this is going to be less about an ending and more about a beginning. Spirit just wants you to realize that that's what it is. Because things are changing, there may be this sense of like, oh, there's things I'm leaving behind, and of course you will be. I think in many ways you already have left them behind, last year. And so just allow things to change. Try not to cling too tightly to things that are kind of on their way out, and just allow the new flowers to grow. There's always kind of a weird transitory period between death and new life, where it kind of feels like you're stuck in the void a little bit, or stuck in the in-between place, and that may be kind of what you're feeling. And so, again, lean on this. Just surrender. Surrender to the process. Surrender to what the universe is trying to bring into your life, and allow these, life cycle processes to just kind of naturally run their course. Because remember, you're in the spring, right? This is the time of new growth. This is not an ending in, any real sense. This is just the beginning of everything else that you want. So yeah, just let death do its thing in April. May. High Priestess. This follows the death card a lot, usually. This is about going within, getting in touch with your inner feelings, wants, needs, desires, who you are underneath the surface, underneath the mask that you present to the world, and just asking you to bring more of that, of course, speak truth, more of that out into your life. This is suggesting that you may not have all the answers yet. So as things grow and change, I do feel a lot of change in the first 6 months in particular. As things grow and change, you don't necessarily know how they're going to unfold. You may go down a path and it just doesn't feel like it's getting anywhere, or it just feels like you're unclear, you don't know what you're doing. Maybe just different opportunities present themselves in different ways, and you're kind of having a hard time following the thread. So just lean on your gut instinct, this King of Cups energy. Lean on what feels good, what feels right to you, what your intuition and your gut instinct kind of tells you to pursue. And that's going to get you farther than if you try to logic or rationalize in these first few months especially. You're going to have to get in touch with your innermost self and what that innermost self really wants. And it may feel like you're kind of defying logic or practicality in some ways. And if you live in process, that's not a big deal. If you're not grounded, that just means that you're not connected to yourself at all. But if you are grounded, if you are in communion with the earth, if you're in your body and you're operating from that place as a foundation, it's not that big of a deal to follow your intuition, even if it doesn't make sense. If you're grounded and connected with the earth, then you're tapped into what your intuition is truly telling you. You're less likely to chase false trails or anything like that. So as long as you ensure that you are here in this body in this time, follow the intuitive trails, even if they don't quite make sense, even if you don't have all the answers yet, and just see where it spits you out, right? This is a great month to kind of follow the signs of the universe. That is May. June. Three of Swords reversed and the Chariot reversed. I do feel disappointment this month. Let's start with the Three of Swords. I feel disappointment, but I also feel awareness, like a sense of knowing why something's not going to work out. And it doesn't mean that this is big, in the sense of whatever starts you off this month about, what you want, whatever you're pursuing, the Wheel of Fortune's turning, you're getting in touch with your intuition, getting in touch with your heart and your innermost self and your desires, you're letting things process, right? All that is still occurring. You haven't lost whatever it is that you're going for. This is a long, long road, right? And so I think you're aware of that. Three of Swords, whatever comes through that kind of feels like it may be a hindrance or maybe some sort of loss or, kind of like another mini death or something like that. Maybe people leave your life, maybe a job leaves your life. Maybe nothing leaves you. Maybe there's just something within that's kind of older, some sort of grieving or some sort of loss that you haven't dealt with inside yourself yet. And this High Priestess is kind of alluding to that as well. Like, this could be old energy. So, don't freak out in June thinking that you're going to lose something big. That wouldn't come through in the reading for me because it would be more disruptive than helpful. And so I really wouldn't worry too much about what leaves you this month. Not to say that something can't or won't, but not to predict what's going to leave you, because you may, really have a great job or a great relationship, and if it's great and good for you, then it has no intention of leaving. So don't be afraid of what you're going to lose. You're not going to lose anything that's truly working for you. Just use this as a time to respond in the moment, to hold the perspective that if something does leave your life this month, that it's ultimately for the things you want and for the ultimate good. So don't ignore your emotions or your feelings. Loss and cycles ending, always comes with some grief, because they were a part of you at one time, right? Where you identified with them or you were attached to them in some way, and that's fine. You have to grieve that attachment. But I do see a higher awareness here, like why something's leaving you. And so I don't think this is going to be a surprise, so I wouldn't worry too much. I wouldn't worry. The things that are going well in your life are going to continue to go well. And this really could be old. Maybe nothing leaves you this month. Maybe you need to let go of an old grieving pattern or pattern that keeps you stuck or trapped in order to move towards what you want. And that may just be a behavioral change, a mindset change, anything like that. So an energy upgrade is also possible. And there's a lot of creativity in this particular Three of Swords card. So for some of you that are particularly artistically inclined, I do get a sense that you might be grieving all the times you did not show up for yourself in terms of art and creativity. And that's good because it's going to signal a habit pattern shift. And so that actually feels really, really positive. I'm trying to feel into if there's any other stories. This could be you grieving an old relationship and then finding someone new, someone good for you. So I do feel kind of a lot of reflection in this death card in terms of if something's ending, something else is coming in right away. So I really wouldn't worry too much. But there may just be a little wobble here in the sense of either it feels like you lost an opportunity this month, but you know before it even leaves you or before you leave it that it wasn't even going to work out. Or it's just something in the past that didn't work out that still needs to be addressed. And it's paired with a Chariot reversed, which means that you can't move on until you work through this energy. So if it happens this month, make sure that you address all the emotions that come up, even if it feels like it doesn't make sense. Like something that you've wanted to exit your life could leave, right? And you're kind of like, on the surface, you're like, oh, thank God, I can finally move on. But then underneath the surface, you're still in a grieving pattern with it. And so there may be a sense of like, it doesn't make sense to you logically because you're like, why am I grieving this thing that I've wanted to move away from? And so that could hold you, which could be impacting this Chariot reversed. So make sure that you address it right away, all the emotions, even if they don't make sense, because if you don't, you're going to get stuck in this Chariot holding pattern. It looks like by the next month, you've let it go. So I don't think this is going to be a super long thing for most of you. I mean, it could be. Anyone can get stuck anytime. But if you're really in process, the energy supports you moving on. So I wouldn't worry too much about that either. If this is old energy, then this is being triggered in you very deliberately because of this Chariot energy. There is something that you are going to be growing in the second half of the month, something that you're going to be building towards, and you can't take those steps until you move past this. It's just keeping you stuck for whatever reason. So if it's old, it needs to be addressed now, again, even if it doesn't quite make sense, because this Chariot can't move forward until you deal with it. And then once you do, even if it's kind of painful because you're working through difficult emotions, this Chariot's going to go forward again, and you're off to the races. And so this is just the universe saying, hey, if you really want this, you got to do this clearing work, okay? August, right? January, February, March, April, May. No, that's June, July. July, Two of Pentacles. Yeah. You've moved on. You've let go of what this is. And the Two of Pentacles is saying slow and steady wins the race. Now that you've let go of this, you know, the lanes are open, but because what you're trying to build is long-term, it's going to take some time, okay? And so while gifts may come in February, there may be more of a slowdown in July because you're still moving towards it, but the beginner's luck maybe has kind of run its course, and now it's time to hunker down and do the rest of the work. You've kind of got your running start, you've cleared what you needed to clear, you've gone within and got clarity of how you want to move forward, you're surrendering to the process and responding as necessary. It's taking you down not a straight route, seemingly. And then in July, it's going to kind of shift. Instead of the universe kind of carrying you along, you've got to carry yourself along, you know? Not that the universe isn't with you, but now it's time to take some action, right? Not that you won't be taking action, but this is like growing from seed now. And so you're really starting to establish that new foundation for yourself. You may be quite busy. You may be working really hard. You've achieved that balance, though. I think by July, this Justice card reversed energy is going to shift. So when things felt kind of shaky or unsettled because the universe is trying to get you to this point, basically, in the first half of the month. So that's why it kind of feels like things may be changing, dying, leaving, coming in, growing, and why you're kind of going down these different rabbit holes maybe, because the universe is just calibrating on their end, and they're just kind of taking you through the hoops. And so it may feel, the first half of the month, it may feel like you're just jumping through hoops, and then the second half of the month, it's kind of more in your control. You found that balance in your life, you found your new structure, and now it's just time to grow from that structure. It's actually a very, very supportive energy. And I think for many of you, especially more grounded types, it's going to feel better because it feels like things are more in your control and more predictable from this way on. People that are not afraid of doing their work are actually going to love this month. But those of you that are kind of more inclined to, you know, more mutable energies, those of you that are more inclined to just kind of responding to the universe and going down these different trails, you know, your challenge is going to be, okay, now I do need to hunker down. I need to do the work, right? And so this kind of depends on your personality and who you are. If you're more inclined towards being grounded, taking small action steps, and knowing that you're going to get there eventually through that slow, steady, consistent progress, this is your month. Those of you that struggle with that, this is the challenge, okay? August, Three of Cups. You have something to celebrate. Your hard work pays off, and it pays off in the next month already. So you're already kind of getting indications. Again, this kind of mirrors the Wheel of Fortune in that while January is about just internally getting clear on what you want, deciding what you want, asking for it, and then the universe kind of starting to turn that wheel for you. When you come into July, this is you actually taking action. And based on the actions that you take in July, the universe is going to send you a sign again that you're on the right track. Like, just like this Wheel of Fortune was like, here's some little gifts to show you you're on the right track with what you want. This Three of Cups is saying, here's some little gifts to show you that you're on the right track with what you are doing, right? So Three of Cups, something to celebrate. Something comes in, you'll probably celebrate with people, which I'm sure we all would like to do more of that this year. If this is relationship oriented, you know, you could just be celebrating taking a relationship to the next level, a relationship that you've worked really hard and slowly to kind of build intimacy with. If this is a job, this could be a promotion, this could be an upgrade in pay, this could be a new opportunity, new collaboration, etc. New business, new project, Beautiful, beautiful energy. Yeah, that month is going to be great. It's just going to be great no matter what. No matter what your process is. We're in September. Yes. 9 of Pentacles reversed. A bit of a dismantling. As you are growing, starting in July, all year, but really starting to manifest concretely in July, as you're kind of getting little gifts and signs from the universe that you're on the right track, as you're accumulating, collecting, as you're celebrating your success, you may hit a point where you may have to do some restructuring. So either what you're starting to build in July just needs readjustment, which happens all the time. Not a big deal. You started out with a structure. That's how we all start out. We start out with a plan, a structure, and then as things start to change, increase in success, as we start to figure out what we're doing more and more and really get into the flow of it, sometimes we realize that our original structure that we started out with just needs to change a bit as we respond to, how things are panning out. And so this could just be that. For others of you, it's like because you are starting this new foundation, there's actually something else that needs to be dismantled, something in your life that's overgrown and is no longer working and it will not support your new foundation. So this could just be like a dismantling process, clearing things out of your energetic field, clearing things out of your house. Cleaning house in a way. That's kind of what I'm getting from this energy. And cleaning house could mean all kinds of things, right? So, clean up so that this can really shine and adjust this new foundation as necessary this month, okay? October, the Devil. This is a nice card for October because it's, scary month. The best use of this energy, for those of you that are really like witchy inclined, I would say some sort of ritual on, Halloween or Samhain, or I don't even know if I pronounced that right, but whatever end of October holiday you practice, it's a good time for ritual work, good time to embrace your primal nature, good time to love your shadow, to love all of you, to bring all the self-love, self-compassion that you can to the table, because there's a gift in it, I feel. Something in you that you need that's going to really continue to help you get towards success, but it may be something in you that you were taught to reject. And so it's kind of like making friends with that side of you again, and then moving forward from there. I think for those of you that are very inclined towards transformational work, Scorpio month, Scorpion energy, at least at the end of the month is Scorpio. So those of you that are kind of inclined towards those types of energies are really going to enjoy this. Those of you that are a little scared of transformation, this may be a challenge, but there's going to be a gift in loving some part of yourself that you've rejected because it turns out that they really have something, some quality, some skill, something that you need. And so it's great about getting back into a relationship with yourself in a new way. Shadow work, great time for shadow work. November, Ace of Cups reversed. Oh, beautiful. Potential for a new start, especially in self-intimacy. And so what I get from the reversal is that this is mostly internal. Energy upgrade. I think if you do this work with the Devil in October, where you do the transformational shadow work that gets you back into a good relationship with some aspect of yourself that you previously rejected, they're going to kind of turn into this beautiful white dove, and you're just going to start feeling so much better. So much better, and that energy of feeling good is going to continue to fuel you forward. This is a nice month. Nice month to wind down and really get in touch with your innermost self again, kind of like I'm seeing a theme here with the High Priestess reflecting this energy as well. Is a good time to go within because changes are occurring and they're positive, really positive changes. Just allow it to integrate and get in touch with who you are and who you love, and love yourself, Then December, 10 of Wands reversed. Huge lift off. I wasn't sure. The Ten of Wands reversed can kind of go either way, but I feel a huge lift off. Yeah, something that's been, this is kind of reflecting the Three of Swords Chariot energy as well. Something that's been putting pressure on you, or has been kind of like a bar across your chest, maybe, or just something that feels like this hurdle or barrier that prevents you from moving forward in a certain direction, is going to lift. I think it's because of the work you do here in October, mostly, and then how you integrate that work in January. That's going to lead into December, where it's kind of like all systems are go. It's kind of like reflecting the opposite energy of the Chariot reversed here, where the Chariot reversed is kind of like, oh, you're kind of coming to a standstill. Not a stagnancy, just a standstill, because there's things to clear out and work to do, and so things are going to start to slow down. I think in December, things are going to start to pick up again. You have this big liftoff, and then it's just kind of like, boom, you're going. So you're going to slide into 2022 with that energy, and that's pretty awesome. So, yeah, I mean, lots of twists and turns this year. Every month feels like it's significantly different in energy. It does feel like, because we're looking at a yearly, the cycle that we're looking at is very big. So be patient, trust that you're going to get to where you need to get to. Surrender to the process, surrender your ego to the universe so that you can really respond to how the energies around you are presenting themselves, rather than just trying to force your way through it, because that will get you to stagnate, right? Make sure that you're really in process responding to what the universe is presenting to you, because you never know. While we in our minds kind of have this linear sense of, I'm here, I want to get there, why can't I just go in a straight line? The reality of that is that we don't have all the answers, and what we're trying to get to, is down this specific lane. And a lot of what the universe does when it provides these twists and turns is it's just trying to get us to that lane. It's kind of like if you're just weaving through heavy traffic on a major freeway. It's like getting from one lane to this lane takes some maneuvering. You got to wait, you got to let a car pass, you got to get the car behind you to let you pass, or you got to find an open lane if someone's being an asshole. You just kind of got to wait and see your opening, and then you got to see your opening again, and you don't control all the other cars around you. You control you. And so wait when you need to wait. Move when you need to move. Pay attention to the signs and signals around you. Do the work, which means put on your turn signal and go at some point, right? And you're eventually going to get to that end lane that you're trying to get to. And so just because it doesn't feel like a straight line, or it feels like there's delays or whatever, it's not. It's just you've got to kind of navigate different things as you're getting to wherever you need to go. It's a complex situation, but you don't have to overthink it or plan for it all. You just need to trust that the universe is getting you there, because that's where you want to go, and you asked, right? The universe exists to give you what you desire, but you got to kind of play by those laws rather than the laws that have been learned through our constructed society and conditioned society, where it should be a straight line and it should be willpower. You know what I mean? That's not going to get you where you're going to go. It's a really great way to get stuck and to get frustrated. But if you can just take each little quote unquote detour, or each little twist and turn from the universe as it is, this is about surrender. As it is, responding to it with gratitude that all of these things are happening to get you where you need to go. They're not happening to get in your way. They're happening to get you where you need to go. Then you're living from this place, the High Priestess place, where you trust the universe and what is being presented to you, and then you're just navigating those waters instead of just trying to bust through perceived walls, right? They're not walls, they're water. So, and waves ebb and flow. So just get with the cycle, stay in your process, trust, surrender to the process. If you are in a place where you're embodying your own truth and speaking your own truth, then the universe conspires to help you. If you're going down a false trail, like an ego trail, something that isn't meant for you, then of course you're going to meet resistance, because the universe is trying to get you to go this way, to go towards your truth. And so the more you embrace yourself and who you truly are, the more the universe tries to help you. And the more the universe tries to help you, the more essential it is for you to surrender to that process, so that the universe can get you where you want to go. There's action to take, but it's a co-creation. It's you. This is between you and the universe. And so it's a conversation, not a battle. All right? trust. I think that's all I have for you guys for this year. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope you enjoy 2021. I'm certainly looking forward to it. And I believe in you guys. Good luck, and I will see you guys when I do my next video. Thanks. Bye.